Good day, ma'am, and to everyone. My name is Crestine Elisa Ogang from BEd2B. So my topic is all about 1935 Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines. Before discussing this constitution, let me discuss first the history of this constitution. So the 1935 Constitution was written and approved and adopted in 1934 by the Commonwealth of the Philippines, 1935 to 1946, and later used by the Third Republic in 1946 to 1972. It was written with the eye meeting the approval of the United States or United States government, as well as the ensure that the US would live up its its promise to grant the Philippines independence and to not have a promise to hold and to its possession to the grounds, and that it was politically immature and hence unready for full real independence. So, the original 1935 Constitution provided for a unicameral National Assembly, and the President was declared or elected to 6-year term without the possibility re-election. It was amended in 1940 to have a bicameral Congress composed of the Senate and House of Representatives, as well as the creation of an independent electoral commission, and to grant the president 4-year term with a maximum of 2 consecutive terms in office. A constitutional convention was held in 1971 to rewrite the 1935 Constitution. The convention was stained with manifest bribery and corruption. Possibly the most controversial issue was removing the presidential term limit so that Ferdinand Marcos could seek re-election for a third term, which many felt was the true reason for which the convention was called. In any case, the 1935 Constitution was suspended in 1972 with Marcos' proclamation of martial law. So, the rampant corruption of the constitutional process providing him with one of his major premises for doing so. This 1935 Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines has introduced the preamble that the Filipino people, imploring the aid of divine confidence in order to establish a government that shall embody their ideals, conserve and develop the patrimony of the nation, promote the general welfare, and secure to themselves and their posterity the blessings of independence under the regime of justice, liberty, and democracy, to ordain and promulgate this Constitution. So the preamble states that what would be the possibly or what's the under of this constitution or this law. Article 1. The National Territory. The national territory comprises the Philippine archipelago with all the islands and waters embraced therein, all other territories over which Philippines has sovereignty or jurisdiction, consisting of its terrestrial, fluvial, and aerial domains, including its territorial sea and seabed, the sea soil, the insular shelves, and other submarine areas. The water around, between, and connecting the islands of the archipelago, regardless of their breadth and dimensions, form part of the internal waters of the Philippines. Article 2. Declaration of Principles and State Policies. Article 2 lays out the basic social and political creed of the Philippines, particularly the implementation of Constitution, and sets forth The objectives of the government. Some essential provision are: the Philippines is a democratic republic. Number 2, the eradication of war as a form of national policy. Number 3, supremacy of civilian over military authority. Number 4, separation of church and state or inviolable. Fifth, pursuit of an independent foreign policy. Sixth, abrogation of nuclear weaponry. Seventh, family as the basic unit of state. Eighth, rule of youth and women as nation building. Ninth, autonomy of local governments. 10th, equal opportunity for public services and the prohibition of dynasty. Article 3, Bill of Rights. Article 3 enumerates specific protections against the abuse of state power, most of which are similar to the provision of the U.S. Constitution. Some essential provisions are: a right to due process and equal protection of law, a right against researches and seizures without a warrant issued by a judge, a right to privacy, the right to freedom of speech, expression, freedom of the press, freedom of assembly, and the right to petition, the right exercise of religion, a right of abode and the right to travel, a right to information on matters of public concern, a right to form associations, a right of free access to courts, the right to remain silent and to have competent or in legal purpose or counsel, a right to bail and against excessive bail conditions, a right to habeas corpus, a right to speedy trial, and against self-incrimination. Also, the right to political beliefs and aspirations, a prohibition against cruel regarding of inhuman punishment, protection providing for no imprisonment for death, the right against doubt, jeopardy, and also the right of ex post facto laws and bill of attainder. Similar to U.S. jurisprudence and other common law jurisdictions, the scope and limitation of these rights have largely been determined by the Supreme Court through case law. So in this article, some of these rights didn't do by the Marcos administration due to the martial law, and a lot of rights didn't we had. Article 4, it is the citizenship. Article 4 defines the citizenship of Filipinos. It enumerates two kinds of citizen: the natural-born citizen and the naturalized citizen. Natural-born citizen are those who are citizens from birth without having to perform act to acquire perfect Philippine citizenship. Then the Philippines follow a jus sanguinis system where citizenship is mainly acquired through a blood relationship with Filipino citizen. Then, natural-born citizenship forms an important part of a political system, as only natural-born Filipinos are eligible to hold high offices, including all elective offices, beginning with a representative in the House Representative up to the President. So we are in Article 5, which is suffrage. So, Article 5 mandates various age and residence qualification to vote and a system of secret ballots and absentee voting. It also mandates a procedure for overseas and disabled and illiterate Filipinos to vote. So in this article, every Filipino must vote even if you are disabled, even if you're OFW, and at least it is maybe in the legal age of Filipino, but not today in Duterte's administration we have the SK, because the last administration we didn't have the SK was stopped due to the problem or the issues happen in this SK Federation. So now the SK was come back and allow Filipino youth to vote for the perfect SK, which will help them to create a organization or a law which will help the youth in organizing and helping the Filipino people, not also the youth and not also for the enjoyment to have party. Article 6, which is legislative department. Article 6 provides for a bicameral legislature called Congress, composed of the Senate and the House of Representatives. It vests upon Congress, among others, the power of investigation and inquiry and aid of legislation. It is the power to declare the existence of a state of a war, the power of the pursue, and the power of taxation, and the power of amendment domain.